ビビンラバリツタンビンランデンランドワバリバタバリバリバリビビビビビリステンデンランドワバリンランデンランデハローワラバラバラバヌズヌズベヤブワビッカリンランデンランドワタタタタタタトゥクトゥクベヤブアラッチャチャイラリビラビビンラバリツタンビンランデンランドワバリバタバリバリバリビビビビビリステンデンランドワバリンランデンランデハローワラバラバラバヌズヌズベヤブワビッカリンランデンランドワタタタタタタトゥクトゥクベヤブアラッチャチャイラリビラビビンラバリツタンビンランデンランドワバリバタバリバリバリビビビビビリステンデンランドワバリンランデンランデハローワラバリンランデンランデハローワラバリンランデンランディンランデンランディンランディンランディンリンリリリアラッチャチャイラリビラビビンラバリツタンビンランデンランドワバリバタバリバリバリビビビビビリステンデンランドワバリンランデンランデハローワラバラバラバヌズヌズベヤブワビッカリンランデンランドワタタタタタタトゥクトゥクベヤブアラッチャチャイラリビラビビンラバリツタンビンランデンランドワバリバタバリバリバリビビビビビリステンデンランドワバリンランデンランデハローワラバラバラバヌズヌズベヤブワビッカリンランデンランドワタタタタタタトゥクトゥクベヤブ
好きよ嫌いわかんない嫌い
好きだ以外ありえない好きだ
好きよ嫌いわかんない止まれない好き嫌い
「
Alright, here's a shout out to Knuckles fans everywhere. Represent! This is for the ladies who love animals and hate robots. We're running Knuckles Rap 2012. Y'all be tripping for this. Heard that on the radio once. I'm Knuckles the Echidna, the guy who wouldn't kid you about the powers I control. You believe me? No, or did you? I can break my fist through walls or use my glide to slow my falls. And since I'm only 2 feet tall, I can punch Eggman in the gallbladder. Hang out with my crew, we're sporting yellow, red, and blue. My friends may seem a little funky, but they're cool for furry dudes. We can run the speed of light, throw down robots in a fight. You see, the only problem is that Knuckles isn't very bright. I get tricked by the Eggman, tricked by the Eggman. If I try to make a plan, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm feeling pretty fly, I get tricked by the Eggman. I can't tell which friends are mine, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm chilling with my chow, or when I'm furrowing my brow, I'm even thinking about it now, I'm getting tricked by the Eggman. When I'm tricked by the Eggman, I get tricked by the Eggman. When he's pulling on my leg, man, I get tricked by the Eggman. Yeah, breaking that beat down like a Robotnik badnik. Oh, whoops. Unlike Sonic, I don't chuckle. Word to your mother. Tell her she makes good cookies. I'm climbing through the zone, sorry hoes, I'm all alone. I can spin a bit to win, I'm here to opponent parts I know. See my friends, I got a billion, they're all about my million. A million reptilian, word up, this is for real. Don't need an extra life, I got 90 freaking 5. You can roughly stuff enough to juice your Sega Mega Drive. I got sex appeal to spare from my redhead dreadlocks hair. But ad nauseam about my awesome point is Eggman don't play fair. I get tricked by the Eggman, tricked by the Eggman. When I'm feeling strictly ticked, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm pimping out my gear, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I run too fast to steer, I get tricked by the Eggman. When chaos messes the frog, I get tricked by the Eggman. Don't forget the werehog dog, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm tricked by the Eggman, I get tricked by the Eggman. All his plans are pretty vague, man, so I'm tricked by the Eggman. When I'm stung by robo bees, I get tricked by the Eggman. Taking arrows to the knee, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I find myself in flames, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I know I've lost the game, I get tricked by the Eggman. I drop Sonic down a hole, I get tricked by the Eggman. When my emails all rickroll, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm frying and I'm dying and it turns out Eggman's lying, I get tricked by the Eggman. Tricked by one more time. When I fall from tipsy lips, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm playing Sonic Drift, I get tricked by the Eggman. When Shadow joins the game, I get tricked by the Eggman. When Chris Thornton's super lame, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm playing Nux Chaotix, I get tricked by the Eggman. Never take antibiotics that you got from Dr. Eggman. He's duplicitous, unscrupulous, voluminous, and ruthless. Relies his lies and guys comprise all sides of Dr. Eggman, cause he's... Hey! Who turned my music off? God, I've been tricked by the Eggman!
just like a Sunday. It's sweet every time I teach you something new. Is this by chance or fate? Whenever it's just me and you. Don't get the wrong idea. When we touch, you'll never be enough. Is it way too much if you had to choose just one of us? Tell me, please. Is this what I think or is it just me? Don't wake me up from this sweet little dream where we'll be together forever. We're never gonna be apart. Will it be okay if I express my love for you this way? No matter what you do or what you say, we'll be together forever. We're never gonna be apart. We're never gonna be apart. Hey, when I'm next to you, I don't know what to do. Why does it feel so great when our eyes meet out of the blue? I'm sorry, I said too much. I really love the way you're right, even when you don't have a clue. I wanna hear you say this love that I am feeling is true. Tasty love, something I want more of. Will it make the cut if you had to choose just one of us? Shall I leave you be? If you love, if I can set you free. But even if it's not reality, let's be together forever. We're never gonna be apart. How can I convey my love for you before they fly away? I think about it all day, every day. We'll be together forever. We're never gonna be apart. One by one, they only fall apart. Can it be undone? Why can't I just be the one for once? We'll be together forever. We're never gonna be apart.
Oh, cheese.
Hello everyone! There's so many people here today. Like, I have 12 viewers right now. Is that the most viewers I've ever had at one time? Guys, I love you. I love you guys so much. But anyways, yes, happy night 1 of DDLC. And yes, please know that this game is not suitable for children or those who are easily disturbed. Now, I will say, I have watched a playthrough of the regular game before, so I've not played the plus section of this game, so that section will be blind, but the rest of it, I do know what is going to happen. So this is, you could say this is a semi-blind playthrough. So I know where certain trigger parts come up, so I will try my best to, whenever I know they're coming up, I will censor those. So yeah, this is DDLC Plus. You didn't know? It's been out for a few months at least. So yeah. And, yeah, individuals suffering from anxiety or depression may not have a positive experience playing this game. I didn't have the best experience first watching it too. There was one part where I got to it and I started crying because I could relate a lot to one of the characters. So, yeah, for me personally, if I was streaming this blind, it would not be a good game for me to stream blind. But thankfully, I know what will happen, so this will be semi-blind. But I know plenty of people in this chat suffer from anxiety and depression, and please know that if this kind of thing triggers you, like tonight will be one of the more wholesome nights, but as we get later to the game, it's not going to be as wholesome, and it is okay if you don't want to watch it, then. It is okay. Like, these types of games are not the only games I play. I literally just played Mario 64, which is completely family friendly. But yes, if you decide not to watch because you're afraid of getting triggered, I understand, and I will not be offended in the slightest. So yes, so please take care of yourselves. No. Yep, I agree. Oh, I know. And I will do what I did when I saw those images in Danganronpa 2. I will change it to the be right back screen. So anyways, it's time to play some Doki Doki. Now, I will say, this is my first time playing the game. It's not the first time I've gone through the whole game myself, but I watched a Markiplier's playthrough of it initially. That was when I cried. So that was my first experience, was watching Markiplier's playthrough. And then Pressed Art Studios, y'all know and love him. He also streamed Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. And thankfully I was there to like tell him when okay, I didn't spoil it for him, but he had a cat pillow with him. And, what? Okay. He had a cat pillow with him, and I was there to tell him, hey, you might want to get your cat pillow. This is a sad part, get your cat pillow. Yeah. So, I know what happens in the main part of this game. Now, the plus section, I do not know. So that part will be blind. But the rest of this, I know what happens. So, have no fear. Oh, someone waved hi to me. What? Okay, that was random. Anyways, this is my name. Hey! Hey! She's not annoying. You shut up. I see a girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. Okay, I'm gonna go get my water. Oh wait, it's right there. I don't have to stand up. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friends. Good friends since we were children, and Sayori is such a light. I love her so much. Right now? Okay. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waking up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, excuse me? However, I just sigh and idle in front of, oh whoops. Hi Sayori! Don't worry, those are the game main character's words, not my words. It's okay. I have a trouble oversleeping too. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. You say that you were thinking about ignoring me. Ha, yeah, they were. Idiot. That's mean, Mario Sonic. Yeah, it is. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then oh my gosh. Fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to. Well, you shouldn't. Whatever you say, Sayori. I know, Sayori! Across the street. Oh my gosh, my glasses are so foggy. Let me clean them a bit. They're so foggy. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Mario Sonic, Have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me when I'm perfectly content just by getting by on the average while spending my free time on games and anime. So why don't you join the game and anime club? I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Okay, something about that confuses me, but I'll get to that later. Your happiness is really important to me, you know? And I know you're happy now, but I'd die at the thought of you becoming a NEET. What is a NEET? In a few years, because you're not used to the real world. I know, it's happy game time. For now. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Why do... Hey! Because she's awesome! More than that, I'm surprised I even... Hey, but it's worth it. I don't know what a NEET is, I'm asking you guys! This school is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Ooh, we're going through different clubs! They didn't have this in the original game! Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize I'm the only one left in the classroom. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed! You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Oh, it means not engaged in education or training? Oh! It's like an acronym. Not engaged in education or training. Okay, that makes sense. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, you know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Oh, so I guess we're not going to the anime club. Sayori, yeah? There is no way. Bruh, you don't even know what her club is! Yeah, meanie. Oh, so you do know. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title Vice President. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be... Bruh! Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Ehehe. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead, or if she's so cunning as to have planned out all of this. I let out a long sigh. Fine, I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go! And thus marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. I dejectedly followed Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door. Here we are! Everyone, the new member is here! I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Hi, Yuri! Well, welcome to the Literature Club. It's a pleasure to meet you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Mario Sonic, what a nice surprise. You know my name? Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. Ooh! Yeah, I know. Natsuki's awesome. I love Natsuki. And Yuri. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Natsuki, is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes her look like a first-year student. She's also the one who made the cupcakes, according to Sayori. Okay, I was confused for a sec, because it said at the beginning that all the girls were above the age of 18. But then I'm like, isn't Natsuki supposed to be a first-year student? But in the wording here it said, she looks like a first-year student, not that she is a first-year student. So I guess this is our senior year or something. I don't know. I don't know how the school system in Japan works. But you can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back toward the other girls. Anyways, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? Oh, that's how Monica knows my name. That's right. It's great to see you again, Mario Sonic. It's my cheery granny from Miitopia. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic, basically completely out of my league. So, having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica. Come, sit, Mario Sonic. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. I'm trying to keep track of who's talking. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about oh my gosh, frickin' Uncle Iroh. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room, where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens the closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, oh, look how happy she is. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Wah! Natsuki, oh my gosh, I'm about to sneeze. Hold up. Hey, shoo! Okay. Natsuki lifts the foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. Happy Natsuki is best Natsuki. Amen to that. Oh, I wish they gave us more pictures in this. I wish we could see the cupcakes. I wish we could see what's happening more, instead of just like watching dialogue. The whiskers are drawn with icing and the little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears! I would love to see that! So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki! Steffi, hello! Also, thank you for the bless yous. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Is Natsuki a vampire? She has like a small tooth down there. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica. I follow. It's delicious! Sayori talks with her mouth full. Oh, it's delicious! Hazari managed to get icing on her face. I turned the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. Natsuki's quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Oh, why are you thanking me? It's not like Bruh. Haven't I heard this somewhere before? Bruh? What do you mean? Made them for you or anything? Oh my gosh, Natsuki. I thought you technically did. Sayori said, well, maybe, but not for, you know, you, dummy. Bruh, you're being awkward. Alright. Yeah, I know that each of these girls, like, represent stereotypes. The sharp tooth is like a Japanese trope. I see. The cuteness level is over 9,000. She is a kitty cat. The tsundere. Yeah, that's Natsuki's the tsundere, right? I can't remember all the names, but I think Natsuki's the tsundere. Yuri returns to the table, carrying the tea set. She carefully places the teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in this classroom? You don't get what, California? After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. What? It's not a bad word. Dot. Is that Nightbot? Oh my gosh. Oh, and Kel redeemed 30 crunches. Gosh dang it. Okay. Anyways, since I just have to press A to get through this, I'll do my crunches and let you guys watch. Ugh. Oh my god, my abs are out of shape. Thanks for the 30 crunches. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so that's okay, don't be embarrassed. Yeah, reading and literature is not a bad thing, if you're reading good things. You do that, Monica. Oh my gosh, I'm thirsty. To be honest, I can't stand all the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. That's really smart. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Reading is fun, but you've never liked language arts literature teachers? Understandable. You gotta be reading the right books. Because some books are just like, why do I need to read this? Why do I need to know about this in order to, oh, thank you guys for joining me. It's just like, why are you guys making me read these books? How are they gonna help me pay my bills? Yeah, it always just depends. Hold on. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it! Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. That's the wonderful thing about clubs, is you can meet people from all different kinds of backgrounds, and all of you become friends over the same interests. That's the beauty of things of this world. That's the beauty of making friends. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Probably. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So, Mario-Sonic, what kind of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. I personally have a problem with buying so many books and then, like, starting them but not finishing them. Like, I buy a book, I start it, and then, like, I'm just like, ooh, another book, and then I start it, and then I start another book, but I never finish them. That's a problem I have. This stream describes me. Hello, TNTDM430. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Manga. Not so cute. Looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Manga's literature. I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her fingers. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. I think Yuri would be a really big fan of Avatar: The Last Airbender. I also think she'd be a really huge fan of Lord of the Rings. It tells the story in form of the pictures. Yes, manga is literature! And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. Would Yuri like The Secrets Awaken? I think Yuri would like The Secrets Awaken. She seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately. Okay, I have not read a lot of horror. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Aww, Yuri. Really? I wouldn't have expected that from Yuri. I would've. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me to another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? For me personally, it depends on the type of horror. It depends on what makes it a horror. Like, is it supernatural horror? Is it psychological horror? Is it realistic? Is it fantasy? Like, it depends on what it is that makes it horror. Well, Natsuki's eyes start over to me. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? What? What gives you that idea? Oh, because you're cute, Natsuki. You left a piece of scrap paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called Don't Say It Out Loud! The player character read half of Goosebumps in 4th grade. Lol. And give that back. Fine, fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori Siddles? Siddles? Don't you mean slides? Anyways, up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not that cute! Natsuki, you write your own poems? And, well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No! Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Ah, not a very confident writer yet? I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. Who gave me push-ups? Ghost! You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Yes, that is a valid way of writing. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. ... I guess it's the same for you, Yuri. Aw, I wanted to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment, and right now we're gonna sit in silence while I do some push-ups. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, let's go. Okay, there she goes, leaning. I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monica. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. Then next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way, everyone is even. Everyone is even. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Yeah, let's do it! Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help all of us get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Mario Sonic? I see you smiling warmly at me. One sec. Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at, and, aw, they're so sad. I'm sorry, I thought... Mario Sonic! You all... I'm defenseless against these girls. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, MC! Yay, I'll join! Okay, it's official. I'm in the literature club. Yay, and today's meeting on a good note. Why are you giving us assignments when we already have enough assignments at school? Come on, Monica. Squidward. Mediocre. Shut your mouth, you mediocre poem writer. Mediocre. Hey, Mario Sonic, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Ooh. Alright, I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure a good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Okay, the first poem writing section. Here we are! Here we go, it's time to write a poem! Chocolate. Tragedy. Joy. Empty, infinite puppy. Puppy or fireflies? Or poof? I'm gonna go with puppy. Marriage, mouse, fluffy, romance, squirrel. I'm gonna go with marriage. Meager, universe, unending, dance, dream. Oh gosh, not that one. Tenacious, silly, crimson, universe, meager, unending, dance! Party, after image, understand, party! Determination, love, kawaii, pure, I'm gonna go with pure, destiny, hop, horror, jumpy, giggle, disoriented, I'm gonna giggle. Have I gotten a single Yuri? Vertigo! No, this makes me think of a movie named Vertigo that my former crush but still friend, a movie he showed me called Vertigo. It was a movie called Vertigo about like a guy who was like a cop and trying to like analyze the situation, but like it was all like framed, but the person who was like behind it all took advantage of the guy's vertigo, like his fear of heights, because if he looked down he would get really dizzy, he would feel vertigo. I don't know, something like that. It's a weird film, but I'm gonna put that there. Yeah, I got a Yuri. I think that's my first Yuri. Cute, peace, explode, sweet, hope, fantasy, milk, music, goop, disown, music. Imagine. Oh, I got a Yuri. Imagination. Okay. Calm, vacation, beauty. Kitty! Kitty. Hi, Audrey. Audrey's behind watching me. Ambient, lucky, pain, growing, climax, extreme, fun. Climax. Oh, I got another Yuri. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Forgive. I like that one. Headphones, strawberry, nibble, almond. Promise. Ooh. Prayer. Unrequited existence. No. Unrequited existence. No, I'm not choosing incapable. Existence. I got a Yuri! Swimsuit. Marshmallow. Valentine. Cry. Embrace. Uncontrollable. Swimsuit. You know, it's, oops, sing. Now I'm gonna go holiday. Yay! I probably got either Toy Story 2 took reference from some scenes from Vertigo? Oh my gosh, I would have to watch that movie again. Okay, I know I either got Sayori or Natsuki. There's no way I got Yuri. Let's see. Yeah, of course I didn't. Oh, come on. Oh. Between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature! It is. Don't worry, guys. Mario Sonic always gives it his, haha, I'm a dude. Mario Sonic always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. He helps me with busy work without me even asking. Dang it, my name should have been Luigi Tails. It's fine. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy, it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once! Sayori! It's okay, my room is very messy too, Sayori. I understand. You see why I love Sayori so much? I relate to her a lot. We can be friends, Yuri. We have some things in common. What'd you bring me? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. It's alright. Aww. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. Why not Mario's shadow? You set a blender on fire once. Oh, mangaka. Wait, what, California? Have a good dead or cries, and everyone please behave while he's gone. So any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. The name mangaka sounds familiar. I have no clue what that's from. Well, here. Yuri reaches in her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, you know, discuss it if you wanted. This is... How is this girl accidentally being so cute? Oh my gosh! She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Dude, you just met this girl. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. Yeah, Jupiter is still here to mod. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew! Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Hi, Natsuki. Man, oh, I guess we're not talking to Natsuki. Slump down into the nearest desk. How am I supposed to occupy myself with something literature-related by myself like this? Guess I could always read some of the book Yuri gave me, but I'm feeling a little too tired to read. I'll probably fall asleep right now. Reading before you go to bed is a good way to get tired and fall asleep. Mangaka's the name of the whole manga? Oh, that's cool! I close my eyes and end up listening in on Sayori's conversation with Monica. We're probably gonna seem really lame compared to all the other clubs, though. No, we won't! Reading's not a bad thing. The festival! The festival! I wish to go to the festival! The problem is that the idea of a literature club sounds too dense and intellectual. But it's not like that at all, you know? We just need a way of showing that to everyone. Something that speaks to their creative minds. That doesn't solve the problem, though. What do you mean? Even if we come up with the most fun thing ever, nobody will come in the first place if it's a literature event. So it's more important to figure out how to get people to show up in the first place, you know? And after they come, we can do the thing to speak to their creative minds. What's this? What's this? Sayori's taking this really seriously. It's rare to hear her deliberating like this. That's a good point. In that case, do you think food will do the trick? Food always does the trick, especially if it's free. Like, you could have like the lamest presentation ever, but if you have free food, people will come. Especially in college. Well, I guess we could cupcakes! Good thinking. Natsuki would love to do that. You're right. Natsuki makes the best cupcakes. That works out perfectly. That wasn't why you suggested it. Cupcakes speak to my creative tummy. Cupcakes it is, then. Hi, Hungry. Nice to meet you. Okay. Lies the unexpected reason I admire her. Unlike me, who has trouble finding any motivation at all, Sayori can put her mind to things and make them come to life. I suppose that's why I end up letting her get on my case about things. I can't help but wonder what it would be like to see the world through her eyes. Oh, hi! Don't say that so loud. Oh my gosh. See, now you're the one Sayori's getting onto for oversleeping. How about you learn? You're always looking out for me, Sayori. It's what I do best. That's a problem. What about you? You look out for me better than you look out for yourself. You're still oversleeping every day, aren't you? Not every day. That's not very convincing. How many days this past week have you gotten up on time? It's a secret. I knew it. Come on, don't get on to someone for that. At least give me the benefit of the doubt. I can't even do that. Look, Sayori, it's written all over you. Sayori glances around at herself. How is it written all over me? You were clearly in a rush this morning. Look, your hair is sticking out all around here. Ah! I run my fingertips down the side of Sayori's hair, trying to straighten it out. Man, you sound like my mom! Sorry, my mom's probably here, but no, so many times when my hair was messy, my mom would be like, you need to brush your hair, brush your hair, brush your hair. I'm just like, ugh. My hair's just really hard to get right. Mine too! Like, so many times, so many mornings, like, I've been like, I don't care what my hair looks like today. Like, honestly, I was that person growing up where, like, I honestly did not care as much about what I looked like. As long as, like, I got through school, just like, if people hate me because of the way I look, then that's their problem, not me. But I'm just like, I could care less about my hair. In fact, a lot of people like thick hair. My hair is very thick, and a lot of people like it. And thankfully, my hair has, like, tamed a lot in the frizziness, but, like, but I didn't let it get to me, and I didn't really like it when, like, my hair would be messy, but I didn't care, and people would be like, no, your hair has to be correct. Because it's like, your hair has to be correct or people won't like you. I'm like, that is so far from the truth. I won't... Why do you care, NC? Why do you care? Yeah, exactly. No one would really notice that or care. You just notice that because you're obsessed with her. Yeah, you meanie. You get him. Wait, oh, wait a second. I thought Sayori was saying that to me. Dang it. Sayori can keep her blazer unbuttoned. It's fine. Oh. Alright, guys. Alright, guys. Game's over. I'm kidding, but do not say that to anyone. Like, seriously. Who would say something like this? Why? Yeah, that's super mean. No! Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess this is the Sayori route. This is so funny. What is it? Well, I was just thinking how weird it is to have a friend who does these kinds of things. Don't say that. You'll make me feel weird about it. Don't call her stupid. It's okay though. I'm happy we're like this. Aren't you? I guess. Hey, be careful. The button might come off. Why is this one so hard to close? You see how she may not want to button up her blazer? Maybe it's hard. MC? Yeah, MC is extremely rude. Oh my gosh. It did when I bought it. What are you smiling about? It means, okay. Yeah, don't say that out loud. Why does it feel strange? But it's so stuffy. It's not worth it at all. Yeah, she can't breathe. Why do you think she keeps it unbuttoned, MC? So, what? So if I keep it unbuttoned, then I won't get a boyfriend, right? What kind of logic is that? Because you freaking suggested it to her, MC? Why? And why are you saying that like it's a good thing? Because if I had a boyfriend, then he wouldn't even let you do things like this. What? I think I know what you're implying. You take care of me better than anyone else would anyway, so that's why I'm keeping it unbuttoned. Aww. Dude, it's cute. Shush. Yeah, she didn't... Stop, MC. Stop. Only if you focus on going to bed earlier. Yeah. Call me out. Call me out. Call this hypocrite out, Sayori. We're better at taking care of each other than we are at ourselves. So maybe you should come wake me up. Wake me up! Were you? Okay, everyone. Monica suddenly calls out. Why don't we share the poems we wrote now? Yay! Mario Sonic, I can't wait to read yours. I fail to sound enthusiastic, but Sayori still trots away to retrieve her poem. Did you remember to write a poem last night? Of course I did. Oh my gosh, I need water. Okay, you wanna know what this song reminds me of? When it goes da 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 da. It reminds me of the things from the song from Pokemon. It goes da 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 da. What game is that from though, and what town is that in? I cannot remember. I feel like it's in either Black and White. I don't know, it was definitely on a DS game. I really think it's Black and White, but I cannot remember which city. Oh my goodness! This is so good, Mario Sonic. Thank you, Sayori. I love it. Thank you. I had no idea you were such a good writer. Thank you. It's Gen 4? Gen 4 is Sinnoh, so it could be in Sinnoh. It may be in Sinnoh. I just know, I figure it's on the DS, so it's either Sinnoh or Unova. Sayori, you must be... No! She loves your poem! Shush! Stop! Maybe that's why, because I have no idea what I like either. Ahaha. What? What? Aw, that's sweet. So when I read your poem, it's not just a poem. It's a Mario Sonic poem! Hey! Thank you, Sayori. And that makes it feel extra special. Special? Like I can feel your feelings in it. Aww. Shut up, MC! Oh my gosh! I'm really happy that you just wrote one. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. Extra special. Reminds you of one of the melodies from Bob Marley? Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Mario Sonic, deep down you're not selfish at all, you know? I don't know if that's the truth, Sayori. I'm sorry. Thanks, Sayori. What? You are, She's doing all these good things for you, and how are you treating her in return, MC? Okay. Alright, let's read Sayori's poem. Dear Sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me. Kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above. The sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. It's like so beautiful and wholesome, and then she says, I want breakfast. No, it reminds me of the poem by Patrick Starr. Roses are blue, violets are red. I have to go to the bathroom. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until morning to write this? Yep, seems like it. Understandable. Hey, I do assignments last minute. I did, because I'm not in school anymore. Thank goodness. I did assignments in the morning and last minute all the time. It sounds just like you. It does sound like her. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast. That's not vegan. Even though you were late to school, it's bad to skip breakfast. It really is. I would rather someone show up too late healthy than arrive on time unhealthy. Yeah, there's no point in arguing that. Monica? Aww. Okay, I'll show it to you, Yuri. Egg. You did your final in the final minutes it was due and still made a B? That's a mood. That is such a mood. That was funny but also cool. Sayori's poem. Yeah, I want breakfast. Yuri? Oh, she's reading my poem. Oh, sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine, don't force yourself. I'm not. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah? Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guessed that it might be after reading through it. Ah, so it's that bad. No! Did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes, and we haven't really gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine, I didn't really notice. What were you saying? Right, it's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through them myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think that the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they fit the two together. What? Writing style separate from the topic matter? What does that mean? The end result is that both the style and style and expressiveness are weakened. Her staring's completely gone and she sounds like an emphasis. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. Yuri, when she speaks, is basically me. Aw, California. Well, I have the bot. Well, since they were talking about eggs and the game mentioned eggs, yes, that would be on topic. But yeah, I installed a Nightbot reminding to keep the chat on topic, so I don't have to keep saying it myself. There's so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a single poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. Writing is a skill that takes a lot of time to develop. You would know if you saw Secrets Awakened years ago and Secrets Awakened now. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example, trying new things. I also hope that everyone in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Good job, Yuri. You caught yourself. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Why do I relate to each of these chars just by one? Writing is a journey. Indeed. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yay! Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate... Okay. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one. The last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm thinking maybe this poem could be about overcoming your past, or something like that. I don't know. If you guys have an interpretation of each of these poems, then, like, feel free to share. Because, like, this thing talks about, like, the future and the past and trying to be calm, and then when it says, I flicker back at the end, like, it's like, I flicker back, like, I tell it to go away, or something like that. But we'll see what Yuri says. it's okay, I could read it. I have seen much worse handwriting than Yuri's. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. It was... No, it wasn't... Yuri! Huh. Oh, huh. It's not about a ghost at all. Often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Yeah, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. Okay, so she's, I guess it was more of a sad poem. Aw, Yuri. Alright, Natsuki, let's go. Hey, Natsuki! Excuse me? Bruh? Yeah, I'll brush us. Okay. Eagles can fly. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Cricket and okay, hold on. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can race. Owls can seek. Cheetahs can run. Eagles can fly. People can try, but that's about it. I guess it's kind of a poem debilitating humans, basically saying, oh look, all these animals can do these amazing things, and humans can try to be all these amazing things, but they'll never be as amazing as these animals. But let's see what the poet says. Shut up. I am being honest. Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff. So people don't even take my writing seriously. You know, I can relate to that, Natsuki. Like, honestly, I am not the most sophisticated writer. Like, cause like, I don't know, my goal when writing is to make, it more understandable than sophisticated. Like, if there is an opportunity to make a description or dialogue or something sophisticated, and as long as it's understandable, sure, I'll do it. But if I try to be sophisticated, but because of that the reader has no clue what's going on, then I wouldn't like that either. I always choose understandable over sophisticated. Yeah, the poem is for people to express themselves. The writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Exactly, Natsuki, exactly. Oh wait, that was me that said that. But yes! When it's easy to read but hits you hard, yes! Yes, Natsuki, preach. Yeah! Seeing everyone around you doing great things can be disheartening. It can, Natsuki, it can! Yes! It puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set it up for a rhyme at the end, but then I made it fall flat on purpose. Yeah, that was awesome, Natsuki! Helped bring out the feeling in the last line, so you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. Yeah! Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, I guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. Natsuki is apparently 18. Or at least older than 18, or something. Exactly, writing doesn't have to be all the same. Like, if you read The Secrets Awaken, I try, I'm not perfect at it, but I try to make, like, the dialogue and descriptions different, like, from different point of views. Like, Bowser, if you read Bowser's point of view, she tends to get a lot more descriptive, while Pumpkin's point of view, she really just gets straight to the point and doesn't use fancy words. Yeah, Natsuki's great. In real life, I'm like a mix between Sayori and Natsuki. Like, I have Sayori's personality, but like Natsuki's interests. Monica! Hi, Mario Sonic! Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Thanks, Monica. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off going with the flow until I'm more settled in. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Mario Sonic. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like this one. It makes me think of something Sayori would like. Is that so? You and Sayori are really good friends, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you had those sorts of things in common. Well... We may be good friends, but Sayori and I are actually really different. Here's the thing, though. I feel like Sayori's and MC's differences are more unhealthy. Like, there can be friends who are really good friends, who are different, yet their friendship is still healthy. But I don't think MC and Sayori's friendship is very healthy. Considering the awful things that MC says to her. But maybe there are also some similarities that you wouldn't expect. The way she talks about you, it sounds like the two of you really care about each other's well-being. Even if you show it in different ways, it ends up being more similar than you'd think. The side stance from Monica, I know, the lean. So I think that's the kind of vibe I get when reading your poem. You sure you're not reading into it too much? I could be. Oh gosh, I sound like Yuri. But in any case, Sayori's writing has a kind of a gentle feel to it. I can tell that she likes exploring with emotions like happiness and sadness. Who knew that someone so happy would enjoy sad things too? Yeah, have you read The Secrets Awaken? I seem like a happy person. But then Secrets Awaken, it's like, oh, it's actually really sad. Yeah, it's totally unexpected. Well, to each their own. And you shouldn't be afraid to experiment a little bit either. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. Amen, Monica. Thank you. Like, I guess, as a writer, you gotta, know when to find a difference, where to find the fine line between, taking people's criticism to know whether they're trying to help you or trying to completely change you. I've received some criticisms on The Secrets Awaken talking about, completely changing it. And I'm like, no, this is my story, and this is my intention with my story, and I'm not going to change that just to please you. But then there are other little criticisms I've received where you said, yeah, I really didn't like when your character did this, or the way you described this, and little specific things like that, that I'm just like, oh, you're right, that makes sense. So yeah, am I making any sense? I hope I am. But yeah, It's okay to take criticism, but it's not okay to try to please others with your writing. Still be yourself. Yes, I'll read your poem, Monica. Oh, shut up. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? Putting on a fake smile, I see. Haha, I know exactly what this poem is about. A noisy neighbor. Hold up. Oh, and I'm about to sneeze again. Hold up. Hold on, I'm gonna mute my mic. Alright, done. Okay. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes? It says spackle, not sparkle. See? Okay. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the spackle protrudes? A noisy neighbor? An angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel. Blind like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with a permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. I know exactly what this poem is about, but I can't. But if I say, then it's a spoiler. So, but feel free if you haven't played through this game before, or if it's been a while and you can't remember, then like feel free to say what you think this poem is about. And I'm sure. I mean, I know there's intentions for this game, but poetry is made to be interpreted in different ways. And so, feel free to let me know what your interpretation is. It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been pushing emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. Yes! Like, poems actually are written to be performed out loud. Just like songs are written to be sung. Not just sheets of music on paper, they're written to be sung and performed. And poems are the same way, they're meant to be said out loud. What was the inspiration behind this one? Aha, well I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had... Oh my gosh, I know exactly what she's talking about, but I can't say. Monica. Something like that. Maybe after everyone's better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. Thank you. Good advice. Just force yourself to get something down on paper and tidy it up later. Thank you, Monica. Thank you. You can always clean it up later. Just put something down, and then once you come back to it and your brain is all rested, then it'll be better. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. Yes, move your hand and go with the flow. Yes, thank you, Monica. Thank you. Yay, you're welcome. You're welcome for listening. Whew. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Mediocre? Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club, after all. I sigh. Guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchanged sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. Oh, this won't be good.
What's with this language?
Eh? Did you say something?
Oh, it's nothing.
I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Oh, she said the word. She said the word. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Mediocre. Squidward. Just like making music? Oh, you're probably talking about Monica's advice, yeah. Thanks, that it really didn't come out nice at all. Excuse me? Okay, well, okay. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Mario Sonic did, too.
So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own.
First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet. And Mario Sonic liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it. Oh, shoot.
Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri.
Eh? That's not what you're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Mario Sonic appreciates my advice more than he appreciates yours. Listen, I like both of your advice.
Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself?
Listen, they're both valid. No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make... Oh, shoot.
Is everyone okay?
Well, you know what? I wasn't... Oh, shoot! Whoa! 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 Natsuki! Natsuki! Yeah, get the popcorn indeed. Mario Sonic. She's just trying to make me look bad.
That's not true. She started it. Excuse me?
Hey, people have different interests, Natsuki. Oh my gosh. The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. I mean, I definitely believe that that readers shouldn't have the... I definitely believe that, like, there needs to be a happy medium between the two. Like, more so the show don't tell, maybe? Like, obviously don't tell the reader straight up what it means, but it shouldn't be difficult for the reader to understand the meaning either. Because if the reader has a hard time understanding it, they're probably, if they don't understand it in the first read-through, they're probably, or at least a little bit of it in the first read-through, then they probably will say they didn't like it. Now, if they understand a little bit, maybe they'll want to be like, ooh, I want to read it again, or something like that. I don't know, I'm not a professional writer, obviously, so this is just, I'm just saying this from experience, but I am no pro. Both are valid. Both of them are valid. Help me, Sayori. Sayori! Eh? Yeah? Everyone's fighting. Everyone's fighting is making Sayori uncomfortable. How can the two of you keep fighting when you know you're making your friend feel like this? Mario Sonic? Well, excuse me, Natsuki? I mean, she isn't a part of it, but she does love the both of you very much. So, like, I don't know. It's pointless. This is pointless. Okay. Advice-wise, I think both of them are valid, but behavior-wise, if I had to take a side behavior-wise, I would definitely take Yuri's side. Because Natsuki's just being so immature and mean. Yeah, seriously, stop! Exactly! Exactly! Thank you, Sayori! Thank you! Yeah, clearly a dude made this game. I'll make some tea. Yes, when in doubt, settle it with tea. Oh my gosh. To be honest, I might come off as good leader and I can organize things, but I'm not very good with people. I couldn't even bring myself to breath. As president, that's kind of embarrassing to me. Yeah, no president's perfect. Nah, it's not like I can blame you. I wasn't able to say anything either. Well, I guess that just means Sayori's amazing in her own ways, isn't she? Yes, she is! You could say that. She might be an airhead, but sometimes it's weirdly suspicious that she knows exactly what she's doing. I see. Take good care of her, okay? I would hate to see her get herself hurt. That makes two of us. You can count on me. Okay. Dang, if only the game made her an option. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Mario Sonic, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was neat to talk about with everyone. Awesome! In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe learn something from your friends, too. So your poems will turn out even better! I think to myself, what a wonderful world! I did learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with a newfound determination. Mario Sonic! Ready to walk home? Sure, let's go! Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Thank you! What happened between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No. That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they make good friends with you. Phew! You know, Mario Sonic, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club. Aw, thank you, Sayori. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. Aw, Sayori, thank you. And I think everyone really likes you, too. That's... Every day is going to be so much fun! Looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Honestly, I really think she has, and she's choosing not to show it. Because I've been in plenty of situations where people think I'm completely anonymous, but I'm really not, and I can tell. And I can tell when they're playing with me, like playing me on or something. Yay, their friendship is slowly getting healthier. Let's do this! Oh my gosh, my throat. I'm gonna go a bit of a darker route with this poem. Sayori, I'm getting her again! Not that that's a bad thing, but I love her a lot. Warm makes me think of my cat, because she's very warm. Kitty! Did I put marital friend? Oh. Kitty! Together. Inferno. Graveyard. Inferno. Unending. Time. Oh my gosh. I had to learn about this in therapy today. Uncontrollable. Parfaits have layers, so why can't you be a parfait? I'm putting parfait. Tone. Oh my gosh, watch me get the Yuri route. I'm gonna put family because honestly, okay, I have a plan of homeschooling my kids, and like I've been spending like these past few days like putting together a whole entire like curriculum for like what am I gonna teach my kids, even though like I am nowhere close to having kids right now. Like I just graduated college, I'm not getting married anytime soon, I'm not even in a relationship, and I'm probably not going to be anytime soon, and I'm okay with that, but like I'm thinking so far ahead. But I'm gonna put family. Scars. I have a lot of scars. Papa. Heaven sent. Ooh. Ooh, that was a Yuri. Hi, Audrey. My dad just brought her in the room. Infallible. Hi, Audrey. Unrequited Lucky Fester. Ooh. Ocean, Heart, Pink. Pink. Yeah, I knew that was Natsuki. That was so obvious. Tragic. I'm gonna put tragic. That was Sayori! Yeah, I need to work on breathing, so breathe. Oh, that was a Yuri. Why are the positive ones Yuri and the negative ones Sayori? Wait. Ooh! I know imagination's Yuri. Extraordinary. Doki Doki! Embrace. I think I got Sayori again! Oh, well, thank you for coming by, California Butts. Please get a good night's sleep. Thank you for coming. No, Audrey, she wants to leave the room, but the door is closed. Hi, Mario Sonic! Yo, Sayori! Looks like you're in a good mood today. Shoes off. I'm just still not used to being in the club, that's all. I see. That's a pretty simple thing to get you in a good mood, but I guess it's always the simple things with you anyway. Speaking of which, I'm kinda hungry. Hi, kinda hungry. Oh, I know what's gonna come here. No thanks. Eh? That's not like you at all. I have my reasons. Why don't we take a look at your purse, Sayori? Why that all of a sudden? No reason, really. I just wanted to look at it. Ah! Okay. A lot of people portray this as MC being a jerk again, but actually he's being smart here. You'll see. Let me get my cat.
Alright, here's a shout out to Knuckles fans everywhere. Represent! This is for the ladies who love animals and hate robots. We're running Knuckles Rap 2012. Y'all be tripping for this. Heard that on the radio once. I'm Knuckles the Echidna, the guy who wouldn't kid you about the powers I control. You believe me? No, or did you? I can break my fist through walls or use my glide to slow my falls. And since I'm only 2 feet tall, I can punch Eggman in the gallbladder. Hang out with my crew, we're sporting yellow, red, and blue. My friends may seem a little funky, but they're cool for furry dudes. We can run the speed of light, throw down robots in a fight. You see, the only problem is that Knuckles isn't very bright. I get tricked by the Eggman, tricked by the Eggman. If I try to make a plan, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm feeling pretty fly, I get tricked by the Eggman. I can't tell which friends are mine, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm chilling with my chow, when I'm furrowing my brow, I'm even thinking about it now, I'm getting tricked by the Eggman. When I'm tricked by the Eggman, I get tricked by the Eggman. When he's pulling on my leg, man, I get tricked by the Eggman. Yeah, breaking that beat down like a Robotnik badnik. Oh, whoops. Unlike Sonic,
Okay,
I don't
I
chuckle.
hate that.
Word to your mother.
I hate
Tell her
that
she makes
comment.
good cookies. I'm
No,
climbing through
she
the zone,
does not.
sorry, homes, I'm all alone. I can spin a bit to win, I'm here to opponent parts I know. See, my friends, I got a billion, they're all about my million. A million reptilian, word up, this is for real. Don't need an extra life, I got 90 freaking 5. You can roughly stuff enough to juice your Sega Mega Drive. I got sex appeal to spare from my redhead dreadlocks hair. But ad nauseam about my awesome point is Eggman don't play fair. I get tricked by the Eggman, tricked by the Eggman. When I'm feeling strictly ticked, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I'm pimping out my gear, I get tricked by the Eggman. When I run too fast to steer, I get
Oh, it
tricked
is?
by the Eggman.
Whoops! Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thanks for that, Playo. 1 second. I have no clue how that started, but thank you. Her face is in her book as always. Oh my gosh, Audrey's claws are so long. Sorry, I didn't mean to start playing Tricked by the Eggman. That was an accident. It was just something in my book. Yuri, tell Mario Sonic to... What? Audrey, no! She's trying to leave the room, but she can't. Her claws are really long. No, Audrey, no! It's not fair. No, Audrey, she's trying to jump out of my lap right now. I didn't mean that. I get too absorbed into my book. There's no way you could think that. You were right, though. I did something bad. I say I did something bad. Then why does it feel so good? They say I did something bad. Then why does it feel so good? Most fun I ever had. I did it over and over and over again if I could. It just felt so good, good. Someone in the comments, tell me who sings that. If you can guess who sings that, you're an MVP. Retribution. Retribution. That still coming from you, Sayori? I guess there's no! I mean, there kind of is, sadly. Sayori knows exactly what she's doing. After all, she told you guys she was bringing me to the club before she even told me! But you wouldn't have come if it weren't for the cupcakes. So I had to trick Natsuki into making them. Come on, give me more credit than that, Sayori. No, the song I was singing was not from the musical. It was by an artist, by a singer. Out of nowhere, something smacks Sayori in the face. Quap! Probably Natsuki. Ow! What was... A cookie! I'll be playing till 10. It's a giant cookie wrapped in plastic. It is a popular singer, yes. Is this a miracle? It's because I paid my restitution. Retribution. Actually, that one almost worked. Ahahaha! I was just gonna give it to you, but then I heard you blab about the cupcakes. It was totally worth seeing your reaction though. Ahaha! It's kind of recent playout, but not like, I don't know. It's a singer where people know their older music better than their recent music. I'll give that hint. That's so nice of you. I'm so happy. Sayori hugs the cookie. Just eat it. Aww. So good. Sayori suddenly clasps her hands over her mouth. Oh, she bit her tongue. That's awful. I recently bit. No, it is not Rebecca Black. It's not Pink or Katy Perry or Kesha. But no, I recently bit my cheek, and I'm actually currently struggling with that. That hurts. Yours looks really good too. No, it's not Ashley Simpson. Can I try it? Beggars can't be choosers. Bruh, but yours is chocolate. Did you say chocolate? Chocolate? Chocolate! Yeah, why do you think I gave you that one? Fine, still, I'm really happy you shared this one with me. Sayori gets, aww. Hey, that's really sweet. Natsuki, accept it. No, it's not Gwen Stefani or Christina Aguilera. It's one people typically like when they're children. Sayori suddenly leans down and takes a bite out of Natsuki's cookie. Wait, what? Oh. Hey! Did you seriously just do that? Mouth full, Sayori trots away to safety. You didn't miss much, Ghost. You're such a kid sometimes. I did another poem thing, so I'm thinking I either got Sayori, but I think I got a little bit of Yuri. I think I got more Yuri this time, so we'll see. Okay, fine. The song was by Taylor Swift. I did something bad, and it was from her album Reputation. Monica, can you tell Sayori? Natsuki glances around. Monica isn't in the club room. Where's Monica anyway? Good question. Have any of you heard anything about her being late today? Not me. Yeah, I haven't either. That's a bit unusual. I hope she's okay. I know she's been remaking most of her songs. Do you know why? Do you know why Taylor Swift is doing that, Playo? I know why, but I'm curious to know if you know why. You know what? I'll just say it. It's because the rights to her old, Monica left to hunt Kana. No, but it's because, the old record company, was, like, bought by someone else, and Taylor lost the rights to her own music. So, or something like that. So she's re-recording them so she can have the rights to her own music again, so she can own her own music again. So that's why she's re-recording all her songs and re-releasing them. Anyways, Doki Doki. What in the world? Monica left to hunt Kana. Oh my gosh. She's pretty popular. She has a what? Oh, a date. Hi, Monica. Can you guys hear Audrey in the background? Hey Audrey, she's next to me now. I didn't mean to be late. I hope you guys weren't worried or anything. Eh? Monica chose the club over her boyfriend after all! You're so strong-willed. But boyfriend? What on earth are you talking about? Gosh dang. Oh, well, Kana's taking a break from a lot of things, so that's probably why he's not here. Monica quizzically glances at me. Never mind that. What held you up anyway? Well, my last period today was study hall. To be honest, I kind of just lost track of time. Ahaha, that makes no sense though. You would have heard the bell ring at least. I must not have heard it since I was practicing piano. Piano? I wasn't aware you played music as well, Monica. Wait, no. What's the no in answer to? Also, oh, you can't hear Audrey. Okay. Also, oh my gosh, she's jumping on the printer now. Get away! She was starting to chew on some wires. Get down. No. No. Ah! You silly cat. I kinda just started recently. Okay, some of the jingling you might also hear is Audrey's collar. Yeah, you should play something for us, Monica. Play Chopsticks. The do 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 do. Maybe once I get a little bit better, I will. Yay! That sounds cool. I'd also look forward to it. Is that so? In that case, I won't let you down, Mario Sonic. And she jumps out of my lap again. And she hears my dad talking and wants desperately out of the room. 1 second. Someone desperately wants out of the room. You want me to let her out? Okay. Alright, she's out. Okay. I didn't mean any pressure or anything like that. Haha, don't worry. I've been practicing a whole lot recently, and I'd really love the chance to share once I'm ready. I see. In that case, best of luck. Thanks! Joke's on you, I don't believe in luck. So, I didn't miss anything, did I? No, not really. I chose to leave out Sayori's mischievous escapade. I'm sure Natsuki will end up complaining to her anyway. It looks like everyone has already settled down. Sayori somehow already finished her entire cookie. Yuri's back to her book, and Natsuki disappeared into the closet. Mario Sonic! Mario Sonic! Sayori suddenly comes up to me. I'm gonna go get some supplies from another classroom. Okay, I think I got the Sayori route again. The festival! The festival! I wish to go to the festival! Alright, let's go. Yeah. What? I wanted to go. Aw. Why don't we just all go the 3 together? Let's go. Let's go. Cause I'm feeling like I'm running and I'm feeling like I gotta get away, get away, get away. Feels like I'm taking a kid to the mall or something. Oh, innocent. That's a good way to be. Find pleasure in the simplest things. Hey Sayori, what exactly are we doing for the festival anyway? I'm not sure how you would make an event out of literature. Me and Monica have it all planned out. Don't you worry. Is that so? Yep. We're gonna do a poetry performance. A performance? Of what kind? Well, everyone is going to take turns on stage and recite their favorite poems. Ah, that sounds kind of dull. No! Poems are made to be performed out loud. Mario Sonic, you're not thinking about this the right way at all. It's not just about reading poems. It's about performing them. Like you say the lines of a poem like, "Between my feet, the last remaining flower beckons to me. I twist the stem, freeing it from its clinging roots. Caressing the final joyous moment. Caressing the final joyous moment between my fingers." I want random to pronounce all of this. "But to what ends have I summoned this joy? For now, when I look in every direction, the once prosperous field before me is but a barren wasteland." Like that! Sayori, how do I put this? I'm sure it's just me, but it's impossibly... Excuse me? She is expressing herself. You meanie, I'm working super hard on this, you know. Oh, I know. Unordinary contrast to your cute self. Aha, don't say that, it's embarrassing. But I guess that means I'm doing a good job. Yeah, I guess so. Ahaha, I'm so excited! The festival is going to be so much fun! Sayori spins herself around in the hallway again. Hey Mario Sonic! This classroom over here is empty. Let's begin the mission. You know, this is my first time going through each of the Sayori routes. Because I've most of the playthroughs I've seen, people take the Natsuki routes, and some of them take the Yuri routes, but I've never seen any of the Sayori routes. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. She hasn't changed one bit. She's nothing but a ball of sunshine, drawing happy vibes from the world around her. It's a pretty nostalgic feeling for me. As the years went by, I began to hole myself up in my room more and more. So going adventuring with Sayori brings about a special sort of feeling I forgot I had in me. Aww. The two of us enter the classroom. Sayori heads straight to the closet and I follow. Let's see what we have in here. Crayons! Oh my gosh, it sounds like a day of work. Sayori pulls a box full of crayons off the shelf. They're the best brand, too! They're kind of dirty, though. Sayori starts pulling various crayons. Alright, that's one down. Don't get distracted. We still need to find... Wait, I'm looking for my favorite color. Fine. And at least move aside so I can look for the poster paper. Ah! I dropped one by accident! Let me guess, that one's gonna be her favorite, and then the MC's gonna pick it up, and then they're both gonna pick it up, and then they're gonna make eye contact, and it's gonna be like, love. Yeah! Oh, dang it. Okay. Whoops, I was wrong. Aw, Sayori, you're... Oof. Hitting things against corners. Those are the worst, but especially hitting your forehead against corners. Like, that should be bloody. She should be bleeding. No! Don't say that's just like you. Ow! Sorry! There's a huge red mark on the center of her forehead. A bump is starting to form as well. Oof. Man, that's gonna swell up. I should find you some ice. Mario Sonic. Where would I even find ice around this time? I guess a cold drink would do. You don't have to. I'm fine with looking like a unicorn. Even wincing from the pain, Sayori makes a silly joke. Aw, silly Sayori. Ahaha, what are you saying? I'll be right back, okay? Okay. I pat Sayori on the shoulder and run out into the hallway. I locate the nearest vending machine. What should I get? It doesn't really matter, since it will be used as an ice pack rather than to drink. But I know Sayori likes apple juice, so I purchased that one. Aww. In just a moment, I'm already returning to the classroom where I left Sayori. She has one palm on her forehead and is using the other hand to clumsily scoop crayons back into the box. At least they were already in the wrong spots before I spilled them. Sayori, here. I hand Sayori the bottle of apple juice. It's nice and cold. Aww, cute. Now she's drinking from it. Sayori, what are you doing? It's for your forehead. Don't call her an idiot! It stings. Just bear with it. It'll feel better soon. Looks like you cleaned up most of the crayons, so that's good. Hey, Mario Sonic. This kind of reminds you of growing up, doesn't it? Eh? What do you mean? You know, how we used to play outside all the time? I would always try to keep up with you. You were kind of oblivious in some ways. Like, I usually fell behind or had trouble climbing on the things you did. But sometimes when I tried to do things I couldn't, I would get myself hurt. I'd fall and scrape myself or get a bump. And I would start crying really hard. And you would rush over as quick as you could. You would try really hard to get me to stop crying. It was almost like you blamed yourself once. Achoo! Achoo! Okay. Oof. It was almost like you blamed yourself and were afraid of getting in trouble if someone found out. Even though it really wasn't your fault at all, you know? Did I really do that? Yeah, you don't remember? Come to think of it, maybe I do remember a bit. I guess I was always so focused on my games that I didn't pay enough attention to you, bruh. So, in a way, it was my fault. Kind of like this time, too. If I wasn't rushing you out of the closet, you probably wouldn't have hit your head. Thank you for admitting your mistakes. Aww. I don't know if he wasn't, if I was thinking about other people at the beginning of the game, but maybe more right now. Even after all these years, you're rushing to help me, even though I'm just being clumsy. You're really a sweetheart. Aw. Wasn't much of a sweetheart at the beginning of the game. Aw. Aw. So cute. Maybe you're right, Mario Sonic. I'm so glad that nothing's changed between us. Has it? Do you think it'll be like this forever? Forever? If I'm honest to myself, there's no telling where we'll end up for college or after that. So it wouldn't be fair for me to make any promises. But, well, I hope so. It's been this long already, right? Can't imagine you ever changing, so my hopes are up. I'm so happy. Sayori has a whimsical expression in her eyes. We remain silent for a moment. She's so silly and clumsy on the outside that when I see her deep in thought like this, it makes me not want to disturb her. I guess we should go back. I don't want to worry Monica, you know? Good luck with that. She's gonna see your forehead either way. Not if I hide it under my bangs. True. Sayori hops to her feet. Ah! Don't stand up so fast after hurting yourself. Well, I guess it's too late now. Anyway, let's go. Must drink water. You're back! Good timing. I was just about ready to start sharing our poems. Sayori, your forehead. She's fine, don't worry about it. I was playing with the crayons and smacked my forehead into the shelf. Well, anyway. Oh, no! Anyway, were you able to find everything we needed? Uh-huh, I have it right. Oh, no. Sayori! No! In any case, good work. I'll start working on the posters tonight. Me too! Okay, everyone, let's share our poems! I'll just go in order. Mario Sonic, I really love your poems, thank you! Aw, not hiding anything, but your poems are so good. yesterday's and this one's too. You can't tell me you haven't done this before. I mean, you're really the one who feels that way, so... Eh? No way! Not even Natsuki? Well, I guess Natsuki is the least likely to admit how much she likes something. But I don't think it's that. What do you mean? Well, I guess I'll be honest about it. It's a lot easier... Oh my god, so sweet. It's a lot easier to write poems when I'm thinking about you. Stop thinking weird things. Stop calling her an idiot. I just mean that you're a really expressive person, I guess. How am I supposed to write poems about my own stupid life? But you somehow make everything in your life an adventure. Even the little things. Like cooking! What? Why not? Cooking is great! I guess what I'm saying is I can feel more feelings through you than I can through myself. We have the kind of weird connection. What? Shh. I mean, it kind of is. Yeah, she's really not a kid. You want to keep it? Ooh. I mean, it was inspired by her, but... Ooh! See, again, it's getting a little healthier. Not completely healthy, but a little healthier. Oh my gosh. Anyways, let's read Sayori's poem. Oh shush, I don't think so. Bottles. I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's the secret place where I keep all my dreams. Wait, hold up. Okay. I pop off my scalp like the lid of a cookie jar. It's the secret place where I keep all my dreams. Little balls of sunshine, all rubbing together like a bundle of kittens. I reach inside with my thumb and forefinger and pluck one out. It's warm and tingly. There's no time to waste. I put it in a bottle to keep it safe. And I put the bottle on the shelf with all the other bottles. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts and bottles all in a row. My collection makes me lots of friends, even bottle of Starlight to make amends. Sometimes my friends feel a certain way. Down comes a bottle to save the day. Night after night, more dreams. Friend after friend, more bottles. Deeper and deeper my fingers go, like exploring a dark cave. Discovering the secrets hiding in the nooks and crannies. Digging and digging, scraping and scraping. I blow dust off my bottle caps. It doesn't feel like time elapsed. My empty shelf could use some more. My friends look through my locked front door. Finally, all done, I open up and in come my friends. In they come in such a hurry. Do they want my bottles that much? I frantically pull them from the shelf one after another, holding them out to each and every friend, each and every bottle. But every time I let one go, it shatters against the tile between my feet. Happy thoughts, happy thoughts, happy thoughts in shards all over the floor. They were supposed to be for my friends who aren't smiling. They're all shouting, pleading, something. But all I hear is echo, 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 echo inside my head. You know, I can relate to this poem because I guess, typically since I'm like a happy person in real life, typically, then people expect that I'm like that all the time, and I never have any problems in my life, which is so far from the truth. I have so many problems in my life, but sometimes I'm afraid to be vulnerable, and I don't want to let my other friends down because everyone sees me as the happy friend. So if I express any unhappiness, then I won't. How do I word this? If I express any unhappiness, then all of a sudden I won't be that person that my friends need. Like my friends need happy Mario Sonic. But so if Mario Sonic is unhappy, then she won't be there to help anyone. But again, as it says in here, it's inside my head. That's the key. That's the last line, is the key. Is because I've learned over the years that it's okay if you have people you trust, it's okay to talk to them about your problems. Like, that's what they're there for. That's what friends are there for, to listen to you and be there for you. And that's something I try to do too. But I always have to remind myself that it's okay to not be strong all the time. None of us can get through life alone. Holy crap! Sayori, did you really write this? Of course I did. Didn't I tell you yesterday I was gonna write the best poem ever? Yeah, but, I mean, I didn't expect something like this coming from you. Monica taught me a whole lot, and I've been really in touch with my feelings recently. You see that? It's almost kind of creepy. Creepy? Well, not exactly. Maybe because I'm so used to you being cheerful. Well, never mind. I'm thinking too hard about it. The point is, it came out good, so you should be proud of it. Aw, thanks. I feel like I was meant to express myself this way. It even helps me understand my own feelings a little bit better. Writing is like magic. You've gotten pretty passionate about this, huh? I hope you keep it up. Yeah! Writing's the best! I'm gonna keep writing until I die. Don't get ahead of yourself. Aww. Obsessed with something before dropping it no more than a week later. Again, sounds like me. Yeah, you shouldn't be pessimistic. Alright, Natsuki, let's go. What? Yeah, for real. Wait, maybe that was a compliment. Natsuki, what? Glad to see someone recognizes my experience. Well then, keep practicing and maybe you'll— What? Natsuki! Yeah. You think so? Yeah, well, I guess if you've been friends with her for so long, you might be on the same wavelength, but you never really struck me as her type. Sayori has a type all of a sudden? Well, I don't know, but honestly, how can someone so fluffy spend so much time with someone like you? It's like she's dragging around a dead weight. Ugh, that was a little unnecessary. But think of it this way, if it weren't for me, she would probably just fly away, like letting go of a balloon. You could say we each take care of each other in our own way. Whatever it is, I don't get it. Oh yeah, I guess I'm supposed to show you my poem. Here. You know what I heard about Amy? Amy likes spiders. Icky, wriggly, hairy, ugly spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a cute singing voice. I heard her singing my favorite love song. Every time she sang the chorus, my heart would pound to the rhythm of the words. But she likes spiders. That's why I'm not friends with her. One time I hurt my leg really bad. Amy helped me up and took me to the nurse. I tried not to let her touch me. She likes spiders, so her hands are probably gross. That's why I'm not friends with her. Amy has a lot of friends. I always see her talking to people. She probably talks about spiders. What if her friends start to like spiders too? That's why I'm not friends with her. It doesn't matter if she has other hobbies. It doesn't matter if she keeps it private. It doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt anyone. It's gross. She's gross. Oh my gosh, the world is better off without spider lovers. And I'm gonna tell everyone. Yeah, I think Natsuki explains after that, like, Like, this isn't what Natsuki actually thinks, but it's from the point of view of someone who automatically hates everything about a person just because of one thing they like. And that's sadly a huge problem in this world today that I wish people could just get over. No, what? Yeah. Yeah! Good job, Natsuki, good job. Yes, the subject is an ignorant jerk. How everyone thinks that doesn't matter, it can be about anything. Aw, Natsuki. I wrote it to be easy to relate to. Everyone has some kind of weird hobby or a guilty pleasure. Yes, everyone does have a weird hobby or guilty pleasure. Like mine is, I like Sonic 06. Something that you're afraid if people find out, they make fun of you or think less of you. Amen! But that just makes people stupid. Who cares what someone likes? As long as they're not hurting anyone and it makes them happy, I think people really need to learn to respect others for liking weird things. Amen, Natsuki. Well, you're definitely right. At least I can relate to that. And I'm sure a lot of other people can too. It's what I do best, after all. I don't like writing unless there's a good message to take away from it. Like, conveying emotions is important, but I want to make people think, not just feel. Remember that. I'm gonna write a good one for tomorrow. Alright, Natsuki. Alright, Yuri, let's go. Oh, thank you, Yuri. Thank you. Yeah. No poem is perfect. Aw. Yeah. It's certainly an interesting technique, writing down things that you see and hear. Well, an example of that. Ooh! Is this the raccoon one? It is the raccoon one! It happened in the dead of night while I was slicing bread for a guilty snack. My attention was caught by the scuttering of a raccoon outside my windows. That was, I believe, the first time I noticed my strange tendencies as an unordinary human. I gave the raccoon a piece of my bread, my subconscious, well aware of the consequences, well aware that a raccoon that is fed will always come back for more. The enticing beauty of my cutting knife was the symptom. The bread, my hungry curiosity, the raccoon, an urge. The moon increments its phase and reflects that much more light off of my cutting knife. The very same light that glistens in the eyes of my raccoon friend. I slice the bread, fresh and soft. The raccoon becomes excited. Or perhaps I'm merely projecting my emotions onto the newly satisfied animal. The raccoon is taken to following me. You could say that we've gotten quite used to each other. The raccoon becomes hungry more and more frequently, so my bread is always handy. Every time I brandish my cutting knife, the raccoon shows me its excitement, a rush of blood. Classic can you read this? Classic Pavlovian. Okay. Classic Pavlovian conditioning. I slice the bread and I feed myself again. We're reading poems to each other right now. I was a little more daring with this one than yesterday's. I can see that. It's a lot more metaphorical. I don't know if it's my fault, but I can't begin to imagine what this poem is about. I don't completely know either, honestly. I mean, I think it's cute. Yuri wouldn't like that, but... I think feeding a raccoon is adorable. What? About someone being ridiculed for strange interest? Eh? She did? Yeah. She was talking about how it doesn't matter what you're into as long as you're not hurting anybody. She's right! I mean, does she really feel that way? Yeah. Sounds like you two have that in common. That's interesting. To me, she seemed like the kind of person who would make fun of my hobbies. But I suppose that's my fault for judging, isn't it? Please don't tell her I said that. It's alright, Yuri. Of course, of course. It's alright, Yuri. It's alright. I'm here to listen. Monica! Hi again, Mario Sonic. How's the writing going? Alright, I guess. I'll take that. As long as it's not going bad. I'm happy you're applying yourself. Maybe soon you'll come up with a masterpiece. Ahaha, I wouldn't count on that. You never know. Want to share what you wrote for today? Sure, here you go. Alright, it's pretty good. Makes me... Sayori again! You two are like the dynamic duo. Ahaha, that's kind of exaggerating it. Yeah, probably. But you do spend a lot of time with her, even in this club, don't you? Then again, I don't blame you for being a little shy. I'm not shy, it's just... Ahaha, I'm just teasing. I know it takes a bit of time to make friends with everyone. But Yuri and Natsuki are super interesting people, so don't be afraid to give them their share of time. And you can talk to me every now and then too. I'm not like unapproachable or anything, am I? No, it's nothing like that. I'm just still getting used to being here, that's all. Yeah. Sorry if I was putting pressure on you or something. I really didn't mean it like that. No, don't worry. I get what you're saying. Well, alright. But anyway, you want to read my poem now? Like the way this one turned out, so I hope you do too. I know what this one's about too! Save me. The colors, they won't stop. Bright, beautiful colors. Flashing, expanding, piercing, red, green, blue, an endless cacophony of meaningless noise. The noise, it won't stop. Violent, grating waveforms. Squeaking, screeching, piercing, sine, cosine, tangent, like playing a chalkboard on a turntable, like playing a vinyl on a pizza crust. An endless poem of meaningless load me. It's even more abstract than your last one, huh? I guess it's just the way I write. Sorry if you don't. No, I didn't say that. Choosing where and how to space your words can totally change the mood of the poem. It's almost like magic. The way I wrote the lines really short makes it feel like they're trying to speak over the noise. I see. It's still hard for me to tell what it's about, though. Sometimes asking what a poem is about isn't the right question. A poem can be as abstract as a physical expression of a feeling, or a conversation with the reader. So, putting it that way, not every poem is about something. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes you'll find yourself facing a difficult decision. When that happens, don't forget to save your game! You never know what might change your mind, or when something unexpected may happen. Wait, is this tip even about writing? What am I even talking about? That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Yeah, I need to, how do I save the game? Alright, I'm gonna save the game right here. Alright, cool. Anyways, let me see who's streaming right now. Noob Tart! Alright, everyone. What should the raid phrase be? I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what the raid phrase should be. Something No, not just Monica. Something related to this stream. Like, I was thinking something about... I wanted to say, no wonder you don't have a boyfriend. But that would be rude, and I think they'd take it the wrong way. Shoot, this is hard. This is so hard. I don't know. Button your blazer, Sayori. No. I don't know. Maybe we won't have a raid phrase for this. Maybe we'll just raid them. But yeah, thank you all so much for coming to this stream. It really means a lot to me. I hope you guys are all doing well. Remember, you guys are so loved. And remember, like, tonight was a good part of the stream, but coming up, we're getting to a not so wholesome part of the game. So if you don't want to watch that, it is totally okay and I will not be offended at all. But I hope you guys all have a wonderful night. Remember, and if you don't have a wonderful night or day wherever you are are still loved and you still matter. So I hope you guys just do so awesome. Yes, let's raid, you tart.